Here, please, and cease your alternate activities. I want to talk to you about what's coming up. We have, counting the rest of today, we have 22 class meetings before the AP test. Yeah, a meeting, that time when we come to this room and I take roll. Today I'm covering what the AP test looks like. So we've talked about this before, but look up here, pay attention. The AP test has two parts. Each is worth half of your total score. There's 40 multiple choice questions, and you get 90 minutes to do that. So that's 2.25 minutes per problem. Yeah?
Kind of a dumb question, but by multiple choice, like it's like A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
It's not like on this test where it's just like a short question, but
that's not multiple choice. Multiple choice is when you are given options and you have to choose one of the given options. So you do have a 40 question multiple choice. You have a short break, and then you have 4 free response questions again for 90 minutes. So the whole thing will take 3.5 hours, maybe 4 hours, considering that they take some time before the test starts. I understand this is a little bit too small to read, but so I called up just the top. And these things are things that will be covered: program design and algorithm development, code logic, code implementation, code testing, and documentation. So they say what they mean by each of these things. And this is, there's a lot more detail down below, but let's look. For multiple choice, this is how they break it down. So there's a little bit of wiggle room, but 2 to 5% of the problems will be about primitive types. That's Boolean, int, double. 5 to 7 will be about using objects. 15 to 17 about if statements, Boolean expressions. Iteration is looping, so that's while loops and for loops. That's 18 to 22%. Writing classes, less on this part than on the free response, but they've got some questions about that. One-dimensional arrays, 10 to 15%. Array lists, 2 to 7%. Two-dimensional arrays, 7 to 10%. Inheritance, 5 to 10%. And recursion, 5 to 7%. Yes?
inheritance is the hierarchy, right?
Yeah. Like class smart frog extends frog.
So if we don't totally get recursion, it's not like a huge deal.
If we didn't even cover the recursion unit, you could still totally pass the AP test with flying colors. Yeah, no, it's not. So more another angle on the multiple choice. They break it out like that. So I think largely there's problems like which line would complete this code is supposed to do X, Y, Z. Which of the following put there would make it work? You know, you've seen that sort of problem.
Like on the AP Classroom, right?
It's just like what you've been doing on the AP Classroom. Yes. Yeah. No, they made those as prep for the test. So, I mean, I didn't make those. They made them. And they're the same people that make the test. So, and code logic might be, this code doesn't work. Which line 1, 7, or 18 is the one that is causing the problem? Or what happens instead? Yeah.
So all of the content on the whole AP Classroom website would be a really good resource.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can redo those things, I think. Anyway.
They have like videos and stuff.
And they have videos, and they're going to do videos where they take topics and delve into them for like an hour and a half, and they're like after school, and they're scheduled in April. So we'll do a lot of review before then. Yeah.
So, but what if each multiple class, like, if each of the classroom questions takes you like 5 minutes to do, that's probably not awesome, right? So we can go fast. If you took 5 minutes each on the multiple choice questions, you would only get, what's 90 divided by 5? You'd get 14 of them, 18 of them done. And there's 40, so that wouldn't be good. Here's the thing. You guys know good test taking strategy. On this test, it's okay to leave a problem blank it doesn't count extra against you. You just don't get any positive points. So it's not like some tests will subtract a point if you or leaving it blank is just as bad as getting it wrong or worse or something, I guess. But on this one, leaving it blank just means you're not getting that point for sure. You want the points, but my advice would be, you know in your heart you get to a problem and you're like, oh bleep, this is one of those ones. I like, I know a lot of you went on the AP Classroom just like guess one and move on really fast because you don't want to deal. So if you're on one of those, maybe leave it blank. Don't get lost though. Don't accidentally start doing the other answers in the wrong place on your answer key. It's a bubble, fill in the bubble thing. But then when you have time at the end, go back and try to work on the hard ones that you had to skip. So one that you maybe assess in 10, 15 seconds. Okay, this is one that I bet I could do. And you can write in your booklet, you could circle the problems in your booklet and then go back and do the circled ones. But it would certainly be better to have tried all 40 of them before you sit down and spend 5 minutes on any of them, and even then, you'd want to be smart about it. Okay, free response, different can of worms. You've been doing free response problems. Again, most of our school year, they're going to break it up like this. There's 4 questions. And when I say a question, often the questions have multiple parts. Sometimes, like for the class one, it's literally write the whole class. So that's just one question. But for method and control structures, there'd be often 2 or 3 parts, like we've had, like part A, part B, part C. They build on each other. I've seen the only ones that come in a single compact question I've seen are the class ones, where they describe what it's supposed to do and then they say write the class. So, but methods and control structures are like, here's a class. They show you a class and then they say to be completed in part A, and then down below they say, okay, now you're going to do part A, and they've described how it's supposed to work, and you have to look back at the class and see the variables that are present and the things you have. You're going to have to. You have to kind of figure out what they're talking about and then add to their code. And then array list, similar. There'll be some sort of thing, and it could be either, not both, in the same problem probably. But and then 2D array, definitely a 2D array problem. So, questions on these?
Arrays seem pretty important.
Yeah.
Will this be posted on the classroom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So then this is more information about those things. I already talked about it. So so for that's it today. And if you don't finish it by the time class is over, which is in 45 minutes, I need you to get stuff done over the weekend. There's a REPL that's just you're writing a method and it uses substring. I just threw it in there. And then 3 array problems. The one-dimensional arrays. The first one has you do a whole bunch of things with a bunch of different simple arrays. And then the second one has you checking for duplicates in an array. And the third one has you coming up with some stats. So all stuff you have done before, nothing new. And Monday, we're going to do a little bit more array stuff. And then Wednesday, we'll move on to the next topic. By the way, Wednesday,